But most of all, I just love baseball.
Welcome to the mile-high city of Denver, Colorado. The Rockies back in town, and they'll open up a 4-game series with the Phillies. They will be very busy this week. They'll play 8 ball games as they're trying to make up for a game lost earlier in the season against the Giants. They'll play a day-night doubleheader on Saturday, and we may be dealing with some weather again this week. This is an amazing story because Jordan Lyles was hit by Albert Pujols on his throwing hand in his last start in the first inning. It blew up within seconds, literally, and you figured if it's not broken, there's no way he's going to make his next start. Well, it wasn't broken, and here he is. He's going to make his next start.
Unbelievable that he's even able to come out 5 days later and toe the rubber, because that thing ballooned up as big as you would expect. You're thinking 2-3 months, easy. And here he is 5 days later saying, I'm okay, let's go get him.
Well, he deserves some good fortune after what occurred last year on that tag at the plate where he broke his left hand. So Jordan Lyles is on the mound, and the Rockies are facing the Philadelphia Philly team, as Jeff Houston told you, that's playing their best baseball of the year. They have won 5 straight. That's tied with 2 other clubs for the longest winning streak in all of baseball. Houston and the Chicago White Sox came into today having won 5 straight. Ben Revere, he can really run. Patient leadoff man. He'll be first for Ryne Sandberg. And here's the rest of their Southwest batting order. Freddie Galvis, the shortstop's having a great season so far. He's hitting .347. Grady Sizemore, that's a good story as well. He's back and playing pretty well, the former Cleveland Indians star. Big Ryan Howard will bat 4th. Maikel Franco will bat 5th. He's a good-looking young player. Chase Utley struggling out of the gate. Dubel Herrera will bat 7th. Carlos Ruiz Chooch will bat 8th, and then Cole Hamels.
We talked about the numbers for Jordan Lyles and how he's just coming out here after just throwing 13 pitches in that start against the Angels before he was hit on the hand by that vicious line drive off the bat of Albert Pujols. At home, he's 1-1 in 3 starts with a .275 ERA. And pretty good in the first inning, just a .174 batting average against.
Well, here's the defense for the Rockies behind Lyles. Blackman's in left, Dickerson's foot still sore, Stubbs in center, Cargo's in right. Good news, Troy Tulowitzki, after sitting out yesterday, coming out of the ballgame early 2 days ago with tightness in his left quad, he's back in there at shortstop, along with Nolan DJ and Willeen Rosario at first. Nick Hundley behind the plate. Again, if you missed it over the weekend, Justin Morneau placed on the 7-day concussion disabled list. So Ben Revere will lead things off. He's swinging at just a little more than 10% of first pitches. So he's a patient guy. And he takes the first pitch there and it misses ball 1.
Well, he has the speed to go along with it. He has a lot of things. He can bunt. So for Jordan, it's imperative that he pitch early and often strikes to especially Ben Revere.
Well, it's not just a situation for Jordan Lyles. This entire rotation has to flip a switch and turn this thing around from a walk standpoint. That's looped to center field, a base hit. There have been far too many walks by this staff. Kyle Kendrick threw the ball very well yesterday. Rockies lost 1-0 in LA. Even Kyle, who normally doesn't walk anybody, walked 5. Only blemish on what was a very good afternoon for Kyle Kendrick. So Revere is at first, and here is Freddie Galvis, or Galvis as they would pronounce it in his native Venezuela.
Kind of an ideal number 2 hitter for Ryne Sandberg. He's a switch hitter. Doesn't matter who's out on the hill. One of the top guys at a .347 average. That's 3rd in the National League.
They say they've finally got him to bought in. Steve Henderson, old friend of yours from playing against him as the hitting coach for the Phillies. They finally got him to to buy into hit the ball on the ground. That's who you are going to be.
Use your speed. If you hit it in the air, it's just a fly out. You don't have the strength to hit a lot of home runs. So do what you need to do to survive and stay here in the big leagues. And so he bought into it. He's also replacing Jimmy Rollins. And you know, those two things can be overwhelming and daunting, but not to Freddie so far this year.
Pulled to first. That's a fair ball, and the throw to second is not going to be able to get Revere. Nice play by Rosario. That was headed to the right field corner. This was close.
Yeah, he comes over. Looks like he stepped. They're going to take a look at this one. I thought he stepped on the corner of the bag, but I'm not sure he ever got the bag. Oh, back with his back heel, his left heel.
Oh, Rhino's out on the field, sort of.
Now, what is it? His left heel? Would he?
Well, that's tough to tell there.
They're going to take a look. I mean, Ron was out immediately because the first base coach, Juan Samuel, was challenging it. He told Ryan to look at this one.
Hopefully, Willeen got it with his heel. He obviously didn't do as he needed to do initially. That's just step on the bag and then make the throw to Tulowitzki. This Subaru review. Whether you're on the road or at the game, everybody could use a second set of eyes.
So it's called a fair ball. What he should do is step on the bag with his left foot, not step over the top of it. That gave the illusion that he didn't get it. Now we'll see if this left heel.
And remember, he was called out, so it has to be conclusive that he missed it. You can't tell there. Let's see if we can see. See, I don't think you can call him safe because you can't tell if the back of the heel's on the bag or not.
Right.
You can't determine that.
Nice call him safe.
Wow. And maybe they had a different angle in New York, but from the angle we saw, yeah, he didn't step on the bag, but but his heel touched it when he stepped over.
That angle, it did appear that there was
some daylight. Well,
so Jerry Lane right now is telling Walt you can't even come out because Walt's out of the dugout. He said, "I'll talk to you in between innings." And this is where I've said this a couple times this year. I would really like for Major League Baseball to give an explanation from the umpire that's making the call here in the stadium.
Jerry Lane and Hunter Wendelstedt are talking now. Hunter Wendelstedt,
you know,
Bob Davidson and Ryan Blackney are getting together.
Now it could be they're checking to see if the runner at second base is out.
Well, how would he be out?
Well, if they tagged, I mean, I'm just saying, I'm not sure why they called the second base umpire over. That's my only question now, okay? Because you have to have the guy that's involved in that play. No, he's safe there.
Listen, did he pop off the bag?
Oh, you know what? When he came off, if they called him, no, he called him safe.
Well, Willeen did the tough thing. He picked up a ground ball that was sharply hit, headed down the right field line, and then basically forgot to step on the bag.
Step on the bag. You're supposed to step on the bag if that happens with your left foot, and you use that as your plant foot to then make the throw to second base.
Oh, maybe that's what Walt was saying. Jerry Lane was saying, Walt, you can't argue after the review, and I think Walt was trying to convey to him that he wanted them to take a look at what was going on at second base when Tulo kept the tag on Revere. Now let's see, did Revere all of a sudden get off after the...
Okay. Or could they be saying this was a foul ball?
Maybe that's what he's asking. Yeah, because we were just told by our truck, he called time. Ben Revere stayed on the bag and then eventually called time. So Revere, he's safe. And I think maybe Walt was saying the ball was foul. Now nothing's being indicated by Jerry Lane.
Now he's saying you can't come out. He's saying that to Ryan Sandberg.
But he hasn't indicated anything yet.
Yeah, I don't.
Usually, as soon as they pull the headset off, they tell you
what's going on.
This is where, and you said this, Huey, this is where Major League Baseball has to get where the NFL is. There's a verbal explanation.
Right,
for the fans.
For the fans in the stadium, fans at home,
for us.
I mean, we won't get an email for, half inning or so telling us what happened. By that time, the game's moved on, but you want to know what happened right now.
Well, I don't know why Sandberg be upset. Right now, he's got first and second, nobody out, unless they're going to pull the runner back. Say it's a foul ball. So Walt didn't lose his challenge.
Jerry said, I used it on my own.
But he didn't tell us what he... I have to assume they were looking at whether it was fair or foul.
The second time, yes. Well, like I said, we'll get an email here in another half inning to an inning.
Well, there's first and second. There's nobody out, and Grady Sizemore at the plate. And this ball's lined to right. Cargo was in that area, and he makes the catch. And now he may have a chance to get Galvis at third, or Revere at third. Revere head first slide is in safely. One out, first and third. It is an error on Rosario.
But that is not the first base umpire's call until it gets past the bag.
It's a home plate umpire's call. Ryan Howard at the plate. Fouls it off. If you're looking on your screen and saying Ryan Howard looks a little slimmer, he is. He's lost about 22 pounds from a year ago. Told me before the game wanted to get back to his playing weight from about 3-4 years ago when he was one of the most feared sluggers in the game. And that's a base hit to right. One run will score. Going first to third is Galvis on the single by Howard. So it's going to cost the Rockies on the scoreboard. It's 1-0.
A smash from Ryan Howard. One hopper into the past Willeen. Coming in off the bag about 88, 89 feet away from home.
Howard's been swinging a hot bat his last 13 games, 364 average.
Well, he's over 400 in his last 5 games at Coors Field, 429 to be exact.
Here's the 22-year-old who just got called to the big leagues. Maikel Franco.
Well, they did that when they sent Cody Ashe out. Told Ashe, you're going to learn how to play the outfield.
fouled off. He's a big, strong kid. Yesterday, he hit his first career home run on a hanging breaking ball against the Diamondbacks. He also had a triple. First time since 1984 that a Philadelphia Phillies made their debut with a home run and a triple in the same game. It actually happened about a week ago with the former Rocky farmhand Hector Gomez, who now plays for Milwaukee. He had his first career home run, his first career triple in the same game.
For Franco, he was leading the International League in hits, RBIs, extra base hits. So he was putting up the numbers that warranted him being called up by the Phillies.
Lyles ahead 1-2. Just missed. 2-2. Got the pie in the face yesterday after being their player of the game. Well, a strikeout here would be huge. First and third, 2-2 pitch, and does it hit hard enough for two? There's one on the first in time. Double play. Rockies give up a run. Strange first inning. 1-0 Philadelphia. Little League night at the ballpark. The Phillies take a 1-0 lead as we go to the bottom of the first inning. And here's the Rockies lineup, brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com.
Charlie Blackburn. At third base, Nolan Arenado. At shortstop, Troy Tulowitzki. In right field, Carlos Gonzalez. At first base, Rolene Rosario. Yep. Catching, Nick Hunley. In center field, Drew Stubbs. At second base, DJ Malehue.
That's exactly how I pronounce it half the time. This is going to be caught by Ryan Howard. The bunt attempt by Blackman, 1 out. That was, in a word, adorable. That was fun.
Yes, it was.
That's the South Jeffco Dragons. Atta baby. So Cole Hamels on the hill, 6th in the Cy Young voting a year ago. One of the more accomplished pitchers in the game. 111 and 86 in his career. 31-year-old can't pick up a newspaper or get online without reading his name and where he may be headed at some point this year. This will be his 9th start. 3.53 ERA. He's picked it up the last couple of starts. He got off to a slow start,
well,
Jeff.
And he kind of got it handed to him against Miami 3 starts ago in 6 innings, 10 hits, 6 runs, and that was kind of a wake-up call, if you could say that, for a Cole Hamels. Overall in his career, he's 111 and 86.
Good swing by Nolan Arenado on a 2-0 pitch. It's 2-1. Hamels has a fastball. He'll move in and out, cuts the ball, and he has a devastating changeup.
And that's where he's getting a lot of his strikeouts, is on that changeup. Same arm action. That's what makes it so deceiving, that he won't slow his arm down or his body. He'll really pronate the wrist at the end and turn it over, and it just appears in your mind registers it as a fastball.
3-1, and that's ball 4. That is something, by the way, the walks that have been up significantly from what he has done throughout most of his career. You look at Larry Boa, he's the bench coach for Ryan Sandberg. Here's the Phillies defensively. Ben Revere, who can play center fields and left. Odubel Herrera is a converted middle infielder. He's at center. He's doing a good job out there. Grady Sizemore is a former center fielder. And then it's Bronco Galvis, Utley, Howard in the infield with Carlos Ruiz behind the plate. If they have a lead late in ball games, we'll see Ryan Sandberg take out Utley and Howard at times defensively.
More range, get the young kids in there. And you wouldn't have thought of that a few years back. But that's where you touched on it in our open about how Philly's in a transition phase. Still trying to get some of the young guys going, but they still have some contracts that they can't get rid of.
Nope. That's a strike, 1-2. You think about Philadelphia and the great run they had from 07 to 2011, 2006 to 2011, won a ton of games, won a World Series in there.
5 straight division titles.
Yeah, they were a dominant team. And a lot of times you pay in arrears.
Yes.
I mean, you pay for what guys did. And Ryan Howard's not the same player. Chase Utley's not the same player. Jimmy Rollins, we just saw Jimmy over the weekend. He's now a Dodger. They earned those large contracts. Yes. But guess what? The older you get, the harder the game gets to be.
Well, because you start to lose your legs. And that's what starts to go. And if your legs go, you can take all the batting practice and have still some of the hand-eye coordination, but if your legs go, it's tough to play.
One and 2 on Troy. And this is popped up and playable for Howard. 2 outs. It's time now for the big hits presented by Mako. Turn the car you drive into the car you love. Cargo in Los Angeles started to come out of what had been a long slump. He hit the 3-run home run to give the Rockies a victory on Saturday, and then the home run early in the ball game the other day to give the Rockies a 1-0 lead. So Cargo up there with 2 outs and Nolan at first base.
And also 2 bullets to left field.
I asked Walt about that. I said, if you had to choose one, which was more impressive, the home runs to right center? He said Cargo can hit home runs. We know that. But seeing him let the ball travel and get deep and not fly open and drive the ball to left field the way he did, was that, if I had to make a choice, love the home runs, but that may have been even more impressive.
I know it sounds weird to say that you can still hit a home run and not be right mechanically. You say, what? No. Hitting the ball the other way, that takes your mechanics having to be on time, where your hands are, where your feet are. As you said, let the ball travel. But you get out on your front foot and have your hands drift and still be able to hit a home run.
Cargo stayed off that. That's a good take. 2-0. Cargo typically has worn out the Phillies. For me, his coming out party was in the 09 Division Series against Philadelphia. when he went 10 for 17. And back then he was leading off for the Rockies. And I mean, his outs were loud outs.
Well, he just jump-started the offense.
Yep.
I mean, that's what I remember of that year with Carlos when he was leading off, because he had the power to take it out. He could steal you a base if he got on. He was just doing so much. And in that series, it was just, here you go, I'm Carlos Gonzalez.
Yep. And the next year, here's a 2-1. The next year, he became one of the best players in the game. He won a batting title. He had 34 home runs. Stole a slew of bases. But for me, it was that 2009 divisional series against the Phillies. Rockies, of course, swept the Phillies in 07 on their way to the World Series. This ball bounced up the middle, but they had the shift on. And Galvis throws out Carlos Gonzalez. So the Rockies trail 1-0 as we go to the second. Town Toyota stores, let's go places. And by Southwest Airlines, book your low fare now at southwest.com. It's our Little League night. We actually aspired to do this last weekend, but the weather didn't cooperate. Man, there's nothing more beautiful than this age. They're put on the spikes for the first time. Guys aren't that far removed from T-ball. It's awesome.
That might
beautiful game.
That might have been the last time it was that sunny here too.
Unfortunately, I think you're right. Chase Utley's going to lead things off. For years, Chase hitting that 3 spot in that vaunted Philadelphia batting order.
It's the 3rd time this year he's hit the 6th spot. He hadn't hit there since 2005.
6-time All-Star, 4-time Silver Slugger. Now the average is flat ugly. It's 138. But everybody you talk to around the Phillies, and we spent a lot of time with Larry Boa this afternoon. Larry is as straight a shooter as you will find in baseball. Good, bad, or indifferent. He's going to tell you exactly what he thinks about his guys, your guys. And he said, honestly, yeah, he may not be locked in, but he's lost about a dozen hits this year on out of balls. I mean, squared above, everything was perfect, everything was on time, just hit him at guys.
So then he's hitting 250, because right now he's 16 for 116. And you add some of those together, take away the ones that you don't get a hit, then that average doesn't look as bad. Is he probably going to hit 320 anymore? 300? Probably not.
And he pulls his hands in there and rifles us down the right field line. And Utley around second will pause there. So a leadoff double for Utley.
Still one of the most unorthodox finish for a major league hitter. He cuts off his swing. Yeah, he pulled his hands in, but really just stops his hands once he gets past contact point. That ball's inside. Keep the hands in. You have to pull the hands close to your stomach as you possibly can. And that's what Utley did. A little short, compact stroke.
That'll bring up Odubel Herrera. This kid runs really well. He pulls the bunt back, and it's low 1-0.
Rule 5 pickup from the Texas Rangers. He played 411 games at second base in the minor leagues. Until last year, they said, "Why don't you go try the outfield?"
And they like the way he runs around at center field. Swinging, and DJ, did he get it there? Yep, just in time. And that's where the shift makes things awkward. You're not used to having a player, Huey, right next to you on the right side.
Right, and for Troy and the shift, this is where a second baseman normally would be. And he's not able to get there. Troy's coming over. DJ's going over.
We're going to get another challenge. Maybe not. Ryan Sandberg was out on the field, and he just walked back in. Guy smiling there is Jeff Francoeur, who always has a smile on his face.
One more look. And remember, once it disappears to the back part of the glove.
Infield comes in. Carlos Ruiz gets plunked.
Wanted it down and in. Just released it up high. Out of the hand, it was just it's supposed to be a two-seam sinker off the elbow of Ruiz. The 21st batter the Rockies pitchers have hit this year. Second on the list of the Phillies was 17.
Cole Hamels swinging. A 231 average. Usually assume bunt here. First and third, one out. And he put it on right now. He took a big hack initially. Swinging again.
Cole Hamels not getting much run support, so I could be saying, well, try to do it yourself. He's got the lowest amount of run support in the major leagues at 2.12 runs per game.
And this is a double play ball. There's one, and there's two. Yep. So Lyles works out of it despite giving up the leadoff double to Chase Utley. It's 1-0 middle of 2 Philadelphia.
Leaguers here at the ballpark. It is Little League Day. We're celebrating Colorado Youth Baseball. We thought we'd ask some of the players about their memories from when they first started playing the game. How about Nick Hundley? He was with a stacked team.
I played the same Little League as Jared Weaver and Jeff Weaver played at in Simi Valley. Remember playing in California with a bunch of good guys and enjoying that. So it was fun.
So, Drew and Jeff, you know, there's always stacked leagues and teams in California. I don't remember anybody from my Little League back in Jersey making it to the bigs, but you guys may. I mean, Huey, you made it to the bigs, so I feel dumb saying that, but I don't know, Drew, you always remember the one guy, right? Was there a guy?
I'm trying to think back. Yeah. Not from Little League. Guys I played against in high school. Walt Weiss being one of them. Obviously made it to the big leagues. B.J. Surhoff, guy you played against for a long time. First pick in the draft out of North Carolina.
Played with B.J. in Baltimore.
That's right.
Yeah, there was nobody else, Mark, that I could remember. Of course, I grew up in Sedona, a pretty small town, so we had the Sedona Lions.
I've got a good Walt Weiss story coming up.
Oh, go ahead. Oh, you coming up in a little bit?
Yeah.
All right, 1-0 on Willeen, 2-0. Anybody else from Sedona ever get to professional baseball?
No. Joey Amalfitano, who was with the Dodgers for a long time, he lived there after he got done coaching. But no, besides me, no other professional baseball player.
2-0 on Willeen. And that's a base hit up the middle. So Willeen continues to swing the bat well. First knock for the Rockies. Little League is about inspiration and development, both physical and emotional. It's a rite of passage in our country, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
For most. Nick Hundley will come up. That was a pretty good Little League. He was playing with the Weaver brothers.
Well, it sounds like some of those Cobb teams down in Georgia or with the Uptons and Kadires and Virginia.
Yeah.
It was a little bit later. It wasn't quite Little League, but not too far removed.
One ball, one strike. Rockies playing just their 14th home game of the year. With all the washouts, they've played the fewest home games of anybody in baseball.
Let Doug look up a stat. There have been 8 rainouts in the major leagues this year. 4 of them by the Rockies.
There goes Rosario, and the throw's not going to get it. Willeen got a good jump on what one would assume is a hit and run. And Willeen with his first stolen base of the year. It's the catchers. McHenry's got a couple stolen bases. Willeen, who doesn't catch much anymore, but think of him as a catcher. He has one now.
But I think that was a straight steal and then just a swing from Nick because Willeen never looked back. Then if you don't look back and it's a straight steal, you really have to, if that ball's put in play, you have to rely on your third base coach to tell you where that ball is.
Middle infielders are going to deke you.
They're going to deke you and get you to slide, do everything.
10th career bag for Willeen. It's just inside the cutter. It's 2-2.
So anyway, real quick. So there's been 8 rainouts, 4 of them here in Colorado for the Rockies, 1 in Cincy, 2 for the White Sox, 1 for the Cubs.
That's it. So basically there's been 7 between Denver and Chicago. This ball up the middle. Galvis somehow got there and he stole a hit from Hundley. Stole a hit and an RBI from Hundley.
Off the bat, you're thinking this is a base hit up the middle. So was Nick. Willeen takes off. But watch Galvis. He had just moved back into position after holding Willeen on. So he started about there, went way over to his right, and then way back to his left to make that play.
Drew Stubbs at the plate. And the infield comes in about halfway. Swung on and missed.
So one more look on this whole play. Galvis will go here, and then he'll go back over here and back again. All of that in one motion. Back, and then back again as that ball's hit up the middle.
Drew's had the issue with strikeouts throughout his career. And he's had a high percentage of strikeouts, as you all know, this year. Find a way to get this in play with the runner at third. Easier said than done, I understand, but Rockies have a chance to tie it up. 1 out. Rosario at third.
You have to choke up whatever adjustment you need to make as a hitter to get it in play. Find a way.
Strike 3 on Stubbs. Large number of called strike 3s on Drew this year.
76 strikeouts in the last 5 games for Colorado coming into tonight. This is a backdoor curveball.
It's right down the
just
middle.
right there.
They set a dubious record a few days ago. They struck out 14 times against the Angels on Wednesday, 14 times Thursday, and then 18 times on Friday. No team since 1900 had ever struck out 14 or more times 3 straight ball games. First pitch strike on LeMahieu. And a base hit the other way. DJ LeMahieu ties it up. His 17th RBI as Rosario comes down.
Coming into that bat, he was tied with Matt Holliday for the highest batting average with runners in scoring position at 500. It'll go up with this base hit to right field. Those are the ones that are just so good for your team when you're in there. You got the 2-out knock. You pick up your teammate who had just struck out. Don't forget Willeen with the stolen base.
Big. Want to know on Jordan Lyles. So DJ has 17 RBIs, which is second on the club to Nolan's 19, and there goes DJ, and he steals a base. He's going to stay there as that ball really cut into center field and eluded Galvis. So the Rockies, scouting report says we're going to run, I guess, on Cole Hamels.
Well, and Carlos Ruiz. Ruiz was 3 for 17 throwing out would-be base stealers, now 3 for 19. DJ taking a glance over his shoulder. But the outfielder and Herrera closed quickly, didn't allow DJ to take off for third.
2-0 on a good hitter for pitcher Jordan Lyles. 2-1. Rockies fans, join the conversation. Send us your thoughts, photos via Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook. Use the hashtag ToyotaTalk. Three and 1. 49 degrees, our game time temperature. It's dropped 1 degree to 48. It's chilly. This ball's hit pretty well to center field. He got under it a little bit. And Herrera will make the catch. In the inning, Willeen Rosario, career .329 hitter against the Phillies. Single, stolen base, brought home by DJ. top of the lineup for Philadelphia: Ben Revere, Freddie Galvis, and Grady Sizemore. Jordan Lyles had a couple double plays turned behind him of the 4-6-3 variety. Philadelphia, the last 2 years, after so many years where they were 90+ win ball clubs, 73 and 89 each of the last 2 seasons. They started very slowly this year, but they've won 5 straight. One of their biggest issues has been scoring. Offensively, they've been really challenged. 29th in slugging percentage, 28th in on-base percentage. And get this, they're hitting just .228, Huey, against right-handed pitching. That's 28th in baseball.
And in that ballpark. I mean, people always are talking about Coors Field. Well, this field in Philadelphia plays about as short as anything that's going these days.
Yeah, and they hit a couple home runs yesterday. It was just the 3rd time this year that they've had a multi-home run game as a team. That's by far the worst in baseball. The next poorest is 6. That's not the Phillies you remember. No. That's not the Phillies of Utley and Rollins and Ryan Howard. Of course, Rollins isn't there anymore. That kid, Michael Franco, they think he's going to hit some home runs on the left.
Yeah, they're real high on Franco and Herrera, the 2 youngsters.
Two balls and a strike on Revere. Single scored in the 1st. And a walk to Revere. First walk, though Lyles has hit a batter. Jordan this year with that walk has now allowed 18 free passes and 21 strikeouts. You'd like to see at least a 2-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio. Obviously, you deal with some of the real elite pitchers. It's much better than that.
But even for Jordan, since he's not really a strikeout pitcher, he's a ground ball pitcher. So a ground ball pitcher, you got to hit the zones, you got to hit your spots and keep it down.
Cole Hamels, a high walk total by his standards, 22 and 51 innings coming in, but he struck out 55, weren't a hitter an inning. Aaron Harang, who the Rockies will see tomorrow, he's almost 4-to-1, 37 strikeouts, just 10 walks. And that's a ball. The Rockies rotation right now, young Eddie Butler, more walks than strikeouts. De La Rosa has the best ratio, 26 over 12, 26 strikeouts, 12 walks.
Kendrick, 26 strikeouts, 16 walks.
Outside, 2-0.
Fake bluff also from Ben Revere at first. Took 2 hard strides and then shut it down. Pete McCannon, the third base coach.
And the 2-0's popped up. Nolan Arenado barely has to move, and that's the first out of the 3rd inning. That'll bring up Grady Sizemore. Said it earlier, it's good to see Grady Sizemore playing baseball every day. He was a dynamic player when he broke on the scene almost 10 years ago. He was a 3-time All-Star between 2006 and 2008 with Cleveland. he never came off the field back then. He averaged 160 games a season, hit about 280, averaged 28 home runs, 80 plus RBIs, 118 runs, stole more than 30 bases every year. He was a rare breed.
Yeah, and then had some injuries, and it really shut him down for a bit of time, and also just couldn't stay on the field.
He's been on the disabled list now in his career 7 times, but they're not 15 days come on back. They were devastating type injuries. He had elbow surgery back in 2009. Microfracture surgery on his left knee in mid-May of 2010, done for the rest of that year.
And part of the next year, even though he might have come back, those things take a while.
There goes Revere, and the throw by Huntley's not going to get him. So Ben Revere with his 8th stolen base.
Came in 8th in the National League. Billy Hamilton leading the National League with 17. Now Ben Revere 8 for 11. Big jump. Pretty easy stolen base for Ben.
One ball game, 1 out, and a 1-0 count on Sizemore. You know, sometimes with a guy, it's one specific area, and he's had knee issues. He's also had, I mentioned the elbow surgery. He's also had a hernia surgery. He's had back surgery as well.
Yeah, so
4 different parts of his body.
Yeah, so if you were playing operation, you'd have a lot of places you could go to, right?
Yeah, the buzzer
as long
always
as the
went off.
buzzer didn't go off.
We haven't broken out an operation reference in quite some time,
but that's
if ever.
But he would be the diagram for it, right? If you're talking about the knee, the elbow, the back. So his was a little worse than the water on the knee.
He didn't play in 2012 or 2013. Last year was with Boston for 52 games and the Phillies for 60 games. He was one of those freaky athletes in high school. He's from the Pacific Northwest. He was a great high school quarterback. Could go and play college football. He was a tremendous high school basketball player, and he ran sub 4.5 in the 40, and obviously, you know, his baseball exploits got him drafted. 3rd round pick back in 2000 by your old club, the Montreal Expos.
Well, you've been around a little bit when you're saying you were drafted by the Expos. But I think Bartolo might be the only guy left that played up in Montreal. Doug, check on that one.
And he's certainly the only guy left to play for the Brooklyn Dodgers.
McGrady didn't have a very good April, 147, but in the month of May hit 368.
Tip held by Nick Huntley. A strikeout for Lyles, his first of the game. So Sizemore is retired. 2 outs, and that'll bring up Ryan Howard. Who wants tacos? If the Rockies score 7 or more runs, go to participating Colorado Taco Bell locations the next day. Do it between 4 and 6 and get your Rockies taco special at Masa Taco Bell. Ryan Howard ripped the pitch down the right field line for an RBI single in the first.
got the replay analysis of what happened in that first inning, and they did come back and say that they determined that his foot did not touch the bag. The second part of that was basically he couldn't challenge the placement of where the runners ended up, is what the rules check was. And so that's why Colorado was not charged the replay challenge. They still have it.
Two 2-0 on Howard. Took something off. It's 2-1. Franco on deck. He's 22. Guy he's watching in the batter's box, 35 now. Towering fly ball, right center field. Cargo started in, now he retreats. Stubbs also in the neighborhood. Drew Stubbs will make the catch. In the inning, a walk, no harm done. Stolen base as well. 1-1 as we go to the bottom of the third. In about 9 days after going to Cincinnati. It's a 1-1 ball game. Drew Goodman, Jeff Houston, Mark Stout, top of the order for the Rockies. Charlie Blackmon steps in against Cole Hamels. Tried to bunt his way on his first time up, and he bunted a line drive to Ryan Howard, basically.
You hate those as a hitter. You have the good intention, and then you pop it up, and you go back to the dugout and you're saying, why did I try to bunt? But it was a good play. Because Howard was playing back, you get it by the pitcher, it's a foot race to first. But I just know how hitters think. Oh, if I'd have swung away, I know I would have gotten a base hit. Well, do you really?
That's how you think, though.
That's how you think.
1-2 on Charlie. He's apologetic after the game for putting his teammates, he felt, in a bad situation when he got thrown out. He was understandably upset at the strike call. This ball is to Galvis, who attacks it and throws out Blackmon. That's knowing who was running. That's a good play by the Philadelphia shortstop. I like this tweet from Little League. Tip of the day: get outside this weekend and play catch with a purpose. I did with 2 of my 3 boys today, and played the old game of 21. You can play that game: 3 points hits you in the chest, 2 points if it's on the body, 1 point if it's outside the body, but you can still make a catch. We simplify it. Got to hit him in the chest.
Yes.
We count 1 for 1, 2 for 2.
Right.
That was a little off.
What do you play?
2 for
10
3.
or 11?
Yeah. Played 10.
I remember that game, and you'll still see it today. You know, you come out to a big league game before guys are getting ready. They'll play that game. I would probably see it 4 or 5 times a week. And guys are just messing around and hit me here. Hit me. I played catch that way with my boys.
And even at the highest level in the sport, it's so important because everything's about muscle memory, and you reinforce hitting your target. And I think it's huge when you talk about relays from the outfield.
Yes. Yeah, and that's why guys do it. It's pitch and catch. It's not pitch and retrieve. You know, so you try to hit him here, and that teaches everybody, say, right here, finish, follow your throw, reach for that target, all of that. But you're right, for infielders especially, when you're talking about the double plays or the relay throws.
You want to get really tough on the kids and say we're playing catch, not chase. So once they get old enough, the ball goes by them, they have to go get it.
You did that too.
You know how wide.
Well,
right?
I know. I was like, you
want to play chase, we'll get the dogs.
Yeah, I'm not going after it. You're the one that didn't hit me. You go chase it.
1 and 2 on Nolan. And Hamels with his second strikeout. That'll bring up Tulowitzki. Good to see Troy back in the lineup. Fouled out to Howard his first time. 1 for 10 career-wise against Cole Hamels. With every challenge called, the Subaru Eyesight Review will determine the outcome. Love, it's what makes a Subaru a Subaru. Hamels never been afraid to pitch on the inside part of the plate.
You have to. And the thing that Cole learned was that cut fastball on the inside part of the plate.
The other pitch he picked up not all that long ago was a really good two-seam fastball or sinker from Roy Halladay. Good guy to learn from.
Yes, it is. Arvada West. Cole will throw the four-seam about 92 miles an hour. He'll take something off of 90 with the two-seamer. The cut fastball will be 88, and the changeup about 84.
Tulo backs out, 1-1 count. Since the beginning of 2013, Hamels has 55 quality starts. The only 2 players in baseball with more, Clayton Kershaw and James Shields, both tied with 57. The last couple of years, you lose sight of how good Cole Hamels is because the Philadelphia Phillies haven't been what they once were. And Hamels said this earlier. Last year, 6th in the Cy Young voting in the National League, the lowest ERA of his career at 2.46, but he had just a 9-9 record.
But people are still coming to the Phillies and say, hey, we'll trade for this guy. But he's still under contract for 2 more years. Actually, 3 more years after this, through 2018, and then a club vesting option for 2019.
6th on their all-time wins list, headed up, of course, by Durango's Steve Carlton. 2-2 on Tulowitzki. 3 on the left side, and it's a check swing. 3-2. Our little league players, as Jenna wants to do everything like the Rockies. Three balls, 2 strikes. And a base hit up the middle for Tulowitzki. Tulo now 17 for his last 35 against Phillies pitching.
Get ready for the first fireworks show of the year on Friday, May 22nd. It's sponsored by Lockheed Martin. All on hand will receive a handheld U.S. flag. Tickets are going quickly, so get yours today at any Rockies ticket outlet, including Rockies.com.
Cargo had a pretty good at bat his first time up. Hit the ball sharply, but into the shift. Hit it actually to Franco. I said originally it was shortstop. Franco, the third baseman, is on that right side. So ordinarily it's ball up the middle. He stayed centered. 0-1.
Yeah, this is the third baseman right next to Chase Utley, and they just kept Freddie on the shortstop side.
A lot of teams will do that because they want the guy who's by himself. They want the guy with the best range. The Rockies flipped Tulowitzki over because Arenado has, as we know, has phenomenal range. So they're okay if he's the lone wolf over there.
No problem with that because he came up, he played shortstop in high school. It's easy to leave him there.
0-2.
Just depends on your personnel, how you handle the shift.
One game, bottom of the third, chilly night at Coors Field. And this is a bouncer to Utley. He's going to throw out Carlos. So Tulowitzki left the board, and we'll move on to inning number 4, tied at 1.
Colorado Youth Baseball, and we wanted to hear some of the Rockies talk about their days when they were growing up playing baseball. Let's hear from Chuck Nasty.
I have lots of really good Little League memories, and half of them were like, sweet juice boxes after the game, but then the other half was like, oh, we're going to have a sleepover after the game. And I just like playing baseball like in between those times.
All right, Drew and Jeff, your go-to thing that you got after the game. For me, if I had a good game, I was able to get a Coke Slurpee at 7-Eleven on the way home.
Were your parents denied you if you didn't have a good game?
I had to do something good in the game, otherwise it was no-go.
What kind of parenting is that?
You know, what about you, Jeff?
I don't remember getting snacks or drinks after the game. If it was time to eat lunch, then we ate lunch. But I don't remember getting a juice box or an orange slice after the game.
This is what I remember. It's back when sodas were okayed.
Yeah.
And there was always a, orange soda and Coke and Pepsi and grape soda, and everybody wanted the grape sodas, but there was only like 3 of them, so it was like a mad rush. And hopefully, if you were lucky, you got one of the grape sodas.
Maybe a snow cone.
Did you guys drink Yoo-Hoo?
Yeah, I loved Yoo-Hoo.
Yeah.
Yogi Berra used to do their commercials, remember?
I think I got a snow cone after this. I was 4 years old, and I was bat boy for my brother's team.
You were a cute kid. What happened?
I don't know.
Look at the family pickup truck in the background. That's like circa 1946. Show that picture again. 1 and 2 on Franco.
Look at that. That's when we lived down in Scottsdale.
Well, I wasn't in Little League there.
When was that?
That was
the over 30 league?
Yeah, exactly. Ground ball to DJ. He's got Franco. That was my junior year in high school.
Let's see that. You know who that looks like, in all honesty, if he was hitting right-handed? Jacob.
Yeah, because I said
you know, a little bit. His hair is lighter than mine. Yeah.
Sorry, Zach and Gabe, but that looks like Jacob. He was hitting right-handed.
He was hitting right-handed.
What team was that?
Fox Lane High School. The Foxes.
Foxes of Fox Lane?
We were the Fox Lane Foxes.
Way to get creative.
We were dominant. We were dominant my junior year. Chase Utley at the plate.
Did you have the high socks too?
Yeah, we had the stirrups.
Stirrups.
And you pulled them way up back then.
Yes, you did.
That was a good time.
That was.
Had the gold trim on them. Utley doubled to right his first time. And this little check swing ground ball to Nolan. Over the top, fires a strike to Willeen. 2 outs. Odubel Herrera will come up. He grounded to second. His initial at bat in the second inning.
Hey, Drew and Jeff, I got a couple of texts from my buddies. One said Pizza Hut after the game, and another guy said sprinkles are for winners.
Sprinkles were for winners.
Only if you win do you get the sprinkles on the cone, maybe from Dairy Queen, DQ.
I remember, like Charlie Blackmon, though, a lot of sleepovers after weekend Little League games.
We had an A&W root beer in Sedona.
Did you?
Yeah.
And
so
that was a drive up, right?
That was a drive up.
Yeah, that's kind of neat. 1-0 on Herrera. Rockies put a shift on with Odubel, and he fouls it back. What's interesting is, and I know this is true, I'm almost positive with Mark, because we talked about it before. I played Little League. Mark played Little League, true Little League, where you couldn't lead. But all my kids have played USSSA and Triple Crown at times baseball, where it's big league rules from the time that they're 7, 8 years old. Did you play Little League, or did you play Major League rules governed by a different body?
I played Little League until we got to Senior League, I believe it was called, right at the 13th.
Babe Ruth?
Babe Ruth, yeah, where we could lead off. But no, up until I was 12, I played straight up Little League, where you couldn't take off until the ball crossed home plate.
Yeah. Now, Little League's a wonderful organization, and it's celebrated the pinnacle every year in Williamsport. But there's a large number of kids nationally, I don't know what the percentages are, who play now USSSA, Triple Crown, travel baseball, and tournament baseball, if you will. They're both great. I don't care where they play as long as they're playing. Both,
that's right.
Both are great.
Just get out and play.
Yep. Three and 2 on Herrera. And tell you what, those last couple of swings, it's like he's trying to go against the scouting report. Those are more slap and run kind of swings.
Maybe he's learning. I've tried to hit into the shift, and that's not working. So I'll take it the other way.
He can run. He's got 7 infield hits this year.
He almost beat out that ball to second last time up. Not this time. He's going to take a seat.
Yeah, Lyles with that strikeout. Second of the night. He's retired the last 6. It's 1-1 as we go to the bottom of the 4th. That's when the losses mean so much more to the parents and the coaches than the kids. Do we win or lose?
What's the score?
Yeah.
How many times do you hear that when you're coaching?
Exactly. Willeen a base hit and scored the Rockies' only run because he stole second and came around on a base hit by DJ LeMahieu with 2 outs. He's got himself another base hit. Rosario eating up left-handed pitching once again. Lowe's never stop improving stat. Rosario, active players with 50+ at-bats against the fighting Phils. He's got a slugging percentage of .786. Third on that list, Justin Morneau.
Hunter Pitts just back off the DL.
He went deep yesterday. Nick Hundley robbed of a hit on a fine play by the shortstop Freddie Galvis. Nick hits this high ear to right field. Going back is Sizemore, and he'll make the catch, and there's 1 out. Rockies are 2 for 2 stealing bases against the left-hander Hamels.
Jump and steal of second by Willeen the first time he was on base.
Strike 1 on Stubbs. He was caught looking his first time. You know, we said it many times. Willeen, catcher by trade. That old line, he runs pretty well for a catcher. Not going to race Drew Stubbs and beat him in a 60 anytime soon, but
sneak attack.
He doesn't run like your old teammate Benji Molina.
No.
If Benji's listening,
Come
that's
on,
Huey
Benji.
laughing.
Yes, that was me laughing at you, Benj. I could do that because I played with you. Benji hit for the cycle one time, though.
What, did he pick up a cab at second base?
Stop. No, I think there might have been
a train wreck in the outfield. See, Ned, when you become a flyer,
you get that reputation.
Yeah, Willeen's like Vince Coleman now. I'm going to go to Cincinnati in a few days and tell Billy Hamilton, you got nothing on me.
16 behind you, watch out.
That's right. This is a high fly ball in center. And you know what? He lost it. Herrera's got to cut quick. It goes down, kicks away from him, and it's going to be second and third. Herrera, the converted infielder, he threw his hands out almost immediately. He never saw it.
It's that time of night where outfielders struggle with balls that get up high into the sky. Herrera throws up his arm saying, I can't see it. Galvis is running out, and then it goes off the glove on the Subaru Supermo. Never even secured it into the glove. It went off the edge of it. Watch Willeen, smart running here. He's halfway to 3/4, sees a drop, but he never became stationary. He always kept his feet moving. Watch how he keeps his feet moving. They're moving. Even that, they're on the balls of his feet, and then he takes off and gets into third.
Yeah, real good base running. So the Rockies, with the fly ball double, it's really hard to score it any other way. Stubbs at second, Rosario at third, LeMahieu is at the plate. DJ, hard single through the right side to drive in the only Rockies run thus far. 1-1, we're in the fourth.
It doesn't matter for DJ whether he's hit 8, 9, 7, 2nd. He's been driving in runs aplenty.
Infield's back for DJ. This is something hitters work on every day in batting practice. It's to get them in and know what they're looking at defensively.
Right. Get them in. One swing will be get them in with the infield in. Another swing will be get them in with the infield back. So one, you're thinking, I'm going to try to hit the ball in the air. This time, just get it on the ground.
0-2.
213 games for DJ. He has 67 RBIs hitting out the number 8 hole.
Really, it's somewhat remarkable.
A lot of chances. It's one of the hardest spots to hit in the National League. That 8th spot before the pitcher.
You got a tough guy on the hill, a guy who strikes out a lot of hitters, Cole Hamels.
And we've seen him. He struck out Drew Stubbs looking on a curveball in the 2nd. But his changeup, he strikes out about 38% of the guys that he does with the changeup. And looking for an affordable way to entertain your employees, families, or friends on Sundays? Ask about our Sunday Super Suite special. Call to book today. That was just a fastball.
Came up and in. 2 outs. Jordan Lyles coming up.
Just over anxious for DJ. Straight out of the hand on the Subaru Supermo. Up by the letters. It looks inviting. Can't catch up to it. Those are the at-bats. Those are the strikeouts that really hurt.
Rockies have struck out 22.5% of the time, which is the 4th highest rate in baseball. And I know it's working right now for the Houston Astros, but the Rockies walk the fewest amount by percentage in baseball. That's why their on-base percentage is one of the lowest in the game. And that's got to turn around. This offense should be much better than it has been so far through the first 34 ball games.
The on-base percentage for Colorado is just .306.
This was close, but a smidgen inside, according to Jerry Lane. So it's 2-1 on Jordan. That's a called strike. 2-2. Lyles hit a high fly ball to fairly deep center field his first time up. He is not one of those automatic outs. He'll compete up there.
Still looking for his first hit. Why not get your first RBI of the year?
Rosario at 3rd. Stubbs at 2nd. And it's 3-2.
Fourth strike zone. If you're Jordan, think inside. Go ahead and take a chance. Try to get the barrel out and hit a long one.
(3-2). And the Rockies will leave runners in scoring position. And we'll go to the 5th inning, tied at 1. I'm up next. Little League night at the ballpark. Rockies won, Phillies won. Drew Goodman, Jeff Houston, Mark Stout, top of the 5th inning. Arcuni Lexus look back, Colorado's #1 volume Lexus dealer. Ryan Howard drove in a run in the 1st inning. Scoring Ben Revere. And the Rockies would counter with a 2-out RBI of their own. DJ LeMahieu in the bottom of the 2nd inning. Scoring Willeen Rosario. Willeen's 2 for 2 in the ball game. You're up to date. Carlos Ruiz goes by the nickname Chooch. 8-9-1 to face Lyles for the Phillies. Phillies the last 5 ball games during this 5-game winning streak, averaging just under 5 runs a game. Prior to that, they were averaging about 2.8 runs per game.
They scored 24 runs to just 12. The pitching was better during this stretch. 2.20 ERA.
2 strikes on Ruiz. He was hit by a pitch his first time up, riding a 5-game hitting streak as well, and that slider misses. Rockies are facing the best 2 right now in the Philadelphia rotation today and tomorrow. Aaron Harang will go tomorrow. And that's a soft liner off the end of the bat. 1 out as we check in again with Mark Stout. Mark?
Yeah, guys, here's the Walt Weiss Little League story. We're talking, and I said, what was your Little League? He said, Suffern, New York. And if you're from Connecticut, New York, New Jersey, that's the tri-state area. Drew and I are from there, so we kind of know that area. He played for the Yankees, believe it or not, the team he grew up liking. And I said, was there one Little League place that you played that was better than anything else? And he said they had the Tournament of Champions. When he was 11, they played at Haverstraw Little League. And I'm going to show you a photo of that. He said that when they went there, they were blown away because it was the best Little League place to play. Signs on the outfield, as he said, advertising. And he said he'll never forget, his coach said to him, when he was 11, to their team, you will not play at a better park than this again in your life. And he said he remembers it to this day because obviously he played in the big leagues. But he was 11. He fanned 17 in a game in that little park we just saw. And that's a 6-inning game.
Yeah, Walt had a big arm back then.
But we all had that, that one park that you went to that when you were a kid, you were like, this is the best.
Yeah, listen, I remember. Now, high school fields now are more like mini stadiums and have the dimensions up and fences.
We didn't have that back in the day.
There were a lot of fields we played at in high school. It was all you could get.
I remember the Little League field I played on because there was just one field in Sedona. It served as a Little League field. It served as a softball field. It was all dirt, and then they would draw a line with chalk on the outfield. So if you hit it over the chalk,
it
was a home run. But if it just got by the outfielders, it was just a double.
Oh, that was different. Revere takes a strike. 8 in a row set down by Jordan Lyles.
It didn't matter. It didn't matter what field I was playing on, as long as I was playing. I told the story in Little League. Once I moved the clocks ahead so I could get to practice sooner. My dad came home and he wasn't too happy.
I never heard that story.
Yeah.
You were the first one there and the only one there.
Right. He said, what time is it?
It's a base hit through the left side. So that ends the run of 8 straight retired by Jordan. Revere's been on 3 times, 2 hits and a walk.
You can't see, how can you get mad at that?
No,
Somebody texted me and said they thought it was my youngest, Cody.
Well, I would agree, Cody. There's a strong resemblance there. There ought to be. Cody's taller than that now.
Yes, he is.
These Little League girls ran into an ex-big leaguer this weekend. Remember that guy?
Special picture.
Ooh, that was close.
I like how Willeen is standing over at the bag where his right foot is on the corner, so you can pivot whatever direction you need to go, but also gives him a smaller area to slide back into.
The guy pictured there is working his tail off to make the senior PGA Tour.
Todd?
More or less.
Why not? That's what you do in retirement.
You and I are already eligible. Not by our age, not our game. 1 ball, 1 strike.
I forget, Todd play right-handed or left-handed?
He plays golf right-handed.
Okay. Again, another close one at first. Throw comes over. He doesn't have much room to slide back into the bag. Lane's cutting him off, and I've got this area covered here.
1-1 on Galvis at the plate, hitting .481 against left-handed pitching and .309 against right-handed pitching. He's had a great opening 6 weeks. This ball's well hit right center field. Cargo hoping for play. Will have one. Casually tucks it in. And that'll end the inning. Middle of 5. Rockies won and the Phillies won. It's 1-1 on a chilly night at the ballpark. Rockies opening up an 8-game homestand. 4 against the Phillies, 4 against the Giants. One of those a makeup game, day-night doubleheader on Saturday. Charlie Blackmon takes strike 1. Charlie tried to bunt his way on and also grounded to short. He's 0 for 2. And it's 0-2 right now on Blackmon. Arenado and Tulowitzki to follow. Third time through the order for the Rockies against Cole Hamels. Hamels, California native. him up. It was all the rage. He's now 31. Time flies.
Over 9 years in the big leagues.
5 strikeouts, 3 in a row for Hamels. I like this tweet. A favorite memory of Little League, my dad / coach asking a kid what position he wanted to play, and he said batter. DH in the making. Actually, that was a young Manny Ramirez.
And he played batter real well.
And Manran played batter real well. A little ticked off when he had to go out to left field. This is fouled off. But Manny, if you recall, did make some improvisations with the game that I don't know if they've taken, but they were creative, like the old 8-7-6 relay.
Yeah, I'm not sure that one's ever really taken off. I don't see it worked on in spring training.
You don't see that one? Nobody works on that?
Nobody works on it.
I've seen it in Little League.
We've seen some things in Little League that, yeah, you just say, okay, that's not how you want to do it, boys. This would be a better option, but that's why you're out there to coach them. You coach them up.
How about T-ball when the ball gets hit and it's like a mass of little humanity all converging on the baseball? Remains 2 strikes on Arenado.
It's like bunch baseball. Wherever one goes, like an amoeba, they all go.
They all go. It's all sports at that age.
Yes,
Soccer's that way.
Hockey's that way.
Hamels on a roll. 4 straight strikeouts. 6 in the game. Log on to CFD Rodeo /Big and Rich for your chance to win tickets to see Big and Rich in concert Sunday the 19th of July in Cheyenne. Summer's largest country music festival, Cheyenne Frontier Days. Who are you seeing again?
You're going to ask me. I know it's not Big and Rich because I'm working that day. The rest of the family might be going. I am going to see Aerosmith in Alabama.
Do you know that Steven Tyler has a song in the top 5 on the country music charts right now? Did you know that?
I did not. I know my family's going to go see Blake Shelton, Keith Urban, Big and Rich, and then of course Aerosmith in Alabama.
They're just camping out there at your in-laws.
Yeah, making themselves a nice little week vacation.
Hamels hasn't thrown a ball out of the strike zone in a while, and he's throwing it about a tick or 2 harder than he was earlier. He's sitting on 95 now.
80 pitches, 55 for strikes. What a cool evening. Some pitchers will say I like throwing it better when it's cooler because I don't feel like I get overheated, or other guys say they don't like it at this.
That's a diving stop by Franco, and he's going to get the out at first. We heard he could play a little defense at third.
Heard he had a strong arm too. That showed it.
Yeah, that was Arenado-esque. Watch Franco. Root Sports is brought to you by the Ford Super Duty. Built better, built stronger, built Ford tough. By Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. And by CenturyLink, your link to what's next. DJ LeMahieu going the other way. Grady Sizemore out of the 3-hole in the 6th inning. Rolls 1-2. DJ LeMahieu. 1 pitch, 1 out. Well, the Rockies got a strong performance from Kyle Kendrick on the hill yesterday, but lost 1-0. The day before, Jorge De La Rosa was terrific. 7 1/3 shutout innings, just 2 hits, didn't walk anybody, had to come out with the groin strain. So 3 straight ball games. The Rockies have got very good starting pitching. It's got to get the offense going. It's a 1-1 ball game with 1 out in the 6th inning. Ryan Howard has driven in the only run for Philadelphia. Sharp single back in the 1st.
And the good news is Jorge threw his bullpen today. Walt was out there watching it, said everything looks good. He's on track to make his start. So that's really good news.
Absolutely.
With De La Rosa and Kendrick, it's the first time that the Rockies have had a starter go 7 innings and allow 1 run or fewer since April 18th, 19th of last year. And that involved Jordan Lyles and Tyler Chatwood in that affair.
Well, Miami loses at home in 13 innings to Arizona, 3-2. And the reason we're showing you that game is it's the first game, the managerial debut of Dan Jennings, who goes from being the general manager into uniform, which surprised a lot of people in baseball. You haven't seen that in a while. I'm trying to think the last time. Jennings has always been he comes from a scouting background. He coached briefly in high school,
but he had never coached, managed, or played a professional game,
which really makes it different.
Yes. Oh, we were getting on the plane last night, and what we were hearing was
Jeff Conine.
Yeah.
Brett Butler's name I know is bandied about. Miami's always done things their own way. They've gone through a lot of managers now. I think it's, 7 or 8 managers for Giancarlo Stanton already?
And they're still paying 2. They're still paying Ozzie Guillen and then Mike Redmond. This is Guillen's last year of his contract, and Redmond just signed an extension prior to last year, during last year. 2 more years.
2-year extension.
Yeah.
And Jennings was forthright in his press conference. I saw some of it. He said, "Yeah, this is a different avenue to being a manager that's been taken before."
I do know Dan personally, and he's well respected within the game. Everybody, they say he's a good leader, and scouting and player development, all of that. But it is different and unique.
It's a tougher play for DJ than you might think, because when it gets on that outfield grass, I was talking to DJ about that. The outfielders deal with it all the time, but the ball snakes. And infielders, you guys are used to fielding it on the dirt.
And when it hits that grass, what's it going to do? Is it going to go to your left, go to your right, and catch the lip? And that's why DJ comes and gets it, because he doesn't want to take a chance with one more hop with that ball doing something that he's not accustomed to it doing. And now for Jordan Lyles, that's 10 ground ball outs. He has 5 flyouts and a couple strikeouts.
Maikel Franco 0 for 2.
Well, vote now for your Rockies All-Stars on your computer, tablet, or smartphone on the 2015 Esurance MLB All-Star Game ballot exclusively at Rockies.com.
1 strike on Franco. Well, last thought on Dan Jennings. Nobody has any idea how he'll do it, and people do arrive at their spot in different ways. Listen, he's watched a whole heck of a lot of baseball through his years. I don't think he's going to be overwhelmed by all of a sudden being a manager. It'll be different. something he hasn't done, but I'm sure he'll rely on his coaching staff. We'll see how it plays out. That's going to be a base hit through the right side.
His bench coach is Mike Goff, who played in the big leagues, who's coached in the big leagues, so it's not foreign to him.
If you're a Marlins fan, you hope it's kind of a wake-up call to that clubhouse. They're under 500, high expectations, and they got a, I guess, a very popular guy fired in Mike Redmond, players' manager. Strike on Utley, a double and a ground ball to third. Career .285 hitter coming into 2015. How bad it was on May 8th. Just 10 days ago, he was hitting .099.
And he was benched for a couple days to kind of clear his head.
He went 4 for 66 over a 3-week period. Make for some sleepless nights.
I don't care how many All-Star games that you've played in, World Series, division titles you've won.
Big star at UCLA. Part of the foundation offensively of those great Phillies teams. Just a few years ago that the Rockies saw twice in the postseason. Rollins and Utley up the middle. Ryan Howard at first. Different outfielders over that period. Shane Victorino at one point was a big part of what they were doing. Jason Worth. Pat Burrell.
Raul Ibanez.
Raul Ibanez. They could pitch. That misses. Cliff Lee, who's injured right now. Cole Hamels, Roy Halladay.
You don't win 5 straight division titles without having a lot of pieces, pitching, hitting. But during that time, they stayed pretty healthy.
3-2. They dominated a lot of folks. They dominated the NL West for a long period of time. It's interesting because they went to the postseason beginning in '07, and they were below 500 against the NL West in '07, and from that point forward, they really took off against everybody, but in particular against the NL West. And they've started this year 3-0 because they just swept Arizona. They're 33-12 against the Rockies since the start of 2008. That's outside. So Lyles with 2 outs gives up a base hit. Now a walk to Utley. And Odubel Herrera coming up. Pitch count in the upper 80s. So often it is assumed with pitchers that when they fatigue, they lose velocity. And truth be told, it's not often that the velocity goes down, but the command is off a little bit.
Because you lose your legs, you start to leave your arm behind. You don't get the same drive and the same finish. So you stand upright in your delivery. So most of the time when pitchers start to do that, they'll leave the ball up.
3 on the right side for Herrera. Ground ball to second and a strikeout.
Phillies 1 for 7 with runners in scoring position.
is going to score one, maybe two. Utley gets a green light. He's coming home, and he'll score. All the way to third is Herrera. A two-run triple, and it's 3-1 Philadelphia.
Third triple of the season for Herrera. His 12th RBI. Well, he got the foot down, and on the Subaru Supermo, you see the hand start to bring the bat through the zone, and what a finish. Pretty loud sound. Was hoping that Carlos could get it back into DJ and have a play on Chase Utley, who's trying to score all the way from first. Throw off line.
And they're going to actually give him a double now and say he went to third on the throw. All of this with 2 outs. And this is a broken bat floater. This is a problem. This is going to drop. And Ruiz makes it 4-1. "45 seconds ago, it's a 1-1 game. And now the Rockies are looking at a 3-run deficit here in the 6th.
45 seconds ago, there was 2 outs. And now the broken bat, just a little flare into right field. As Steve Foster comes out, Christian Friedrich will get up in the bullpen. Just a 7th RBI for Ruiz on the season.
Cole Hamels.
Good cut.
Well, he's a lifetime 200-plus hitter, and that's the demarcation with pitchers to salute them as good hitting pitchers. And never hit a home run, but he does take a quality hack. Single, walk, double, single, and all of a sudden you're staring at a 4-1 deficit. Gets the strikeout, but the damage done. 4-1 Philadelphia as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning at Coors Field. By the Courtyard by Marriott, Western elegance in the cultural heart of the city, and by Cherry 5-Hour Energy Shots, helping support Special Operations Warrior Foundation. Phillies leading 4-1 over the Rockies.
Looks like it's over in your neck of the woods. Clement Park.
Doesn't look like Clement Park. We're being told it was officially Clement Park. Cargo's going to lead it off. Willeen Rosario, Nick Hundley. 5 in a row set down by Hamels, 4 by way of strikeout. Hamels has struck out 6 in the game. He's allowed a run on 5 hits. Inside ball 1 on Cargo, is grounded out twice. Rosario on deck has 2 of the Rockies' 5 hits. And that's a called strike, 1-1. And that'll be a base hit. So the Rockies, deficient on the scoreboard by 3 runs, have the leadoff man aboard. And that'll bring up the baby bull.
Poor Carlos got the hanging slider. He wanted that more away from him, but it stayed there right at belt high for him.
The at-bats just have cleaned up a lot the last 5-6 days, haven't they?
Well, he's swinging at more strikes. That's the first thing. And that'll always help your at-bats.
Strike on Willeen. League leaders brought to you by your Colorado Hyundai dealers. The Rockies the last couple of years have hit over 300 against the Philadelphia Phillies, better than anybody else. But unfortunately hasn't resulted in a ton of victories. That's back up the middle, but not hit hard enough. Utley is going to turn it over. Despite the efforts of Cargo to break up 2, 4-3 double play.
Initially, from our angle, it looked like it was a line drive up the middle. But it broke the bat of Willeen, and then Chase Utley on the Subaru Supermo steps with his right foot on the bag and then just throws with just the one stride to get Willeen. Right foot on the bag and the throw for the double play.
Nick Hundley, a ground out and a fly ball to right field. Strike 1 on Nick.
Nick's hit 15 out of his last 17 and 21 out of 26 games this year.
He's been very solid. Rockies at the bottom of their order. What Hundley's done offensively and defensively, what LeMahieu has done offensively and defensively. Everything you could ask for and then some. It's been more in the middle of the order where the Rockies need to get going. And those guys know it. Yeah, collectively. Those guys know it.
We've seen each of them in their own right do some things, but never together. Where it's bang, bang, here we go.
Rockies are averaging 3.88 runs per game. The lowest they've ever averaged for a full season was 4.36, which is still a half a run more, basically, than what they're doing right now, and that was 2 years ago. Ball's line to right. Reaching up, making the grab, Sizemore, and that's all for Colorado in the 6th inning. So we'll go to the 7th. The Phillies out front, 4-1.
behind the plate, but we want to hear McHenry's tales about his Little League. So here's his memory.
I was 8 playing in Little League, and ended up being one of my really close friends. Picked me off at first base, one of my first games, and I remember crying and going back to the dugout. I didn't handle losing well, so like I get to look back on it now and kind of laugh.
Drew and Jeff, did you guys cry at all in Little League? Did you have any situations where you cried?
Yeah.
That you can think of? I had one where, this is really weird. I had one of those lucky rabbits feet that you have on your keychain, and I went up to bat with it for some reason on my belt. I guess I'd left it on there, and then they told me to go back, and I started crying because I thought I was out. I didn't know. I was like 7 or 8. That's just a strange story, but you can you top
There's
it?
always tears in Little League.
Yeah.
I have one where we were in the district, quote unquote, the road to Williamsport. It's not like we were really close to Williamsport yet, but we were on the road to Williamsport, or whatever all-star team from our area, and I hit a 2-run home run, and I'm jogging around the bases, and they jump on you at home plate, and then we kind of walk off to the dugout, right? And so a couple seconds goes by, and I'm not in the dugout yet, and the catcher for the other team comes by and tags me, and the umpire goes, "You're out." And I burst into tears, and we was trying to figure out what was going on, and the umpire said, "When you came across, you didn't touch home plate." Oh. And so they put a ball back in play, tagged me, even though the ball went over the fence, and said, "You're out." And so it went in as a triple and 1 run in, and we ended up losing the game by 2 runs. So then I really...
You stepped on home plate, didn't you?
Probably not.
Huey?
I was excited. You're 12.
I know. You would think I don't need to worry
Malik's
about it.
a lot older than me. He didn't step on first earlier today. It happens.
It does happen. I remember, a game in Little League that the ball go right between my legs, like every Little League player has done, every big league player has done to lose a game. And I remember I was not, was kind of inconsolable after the game. And of course, my mom was like, "Hey, it's okay, it happens." And my dad said, "Next time, make sure you stay down on that."
Because we coach as dads, moms console.
Right. And I didn't take it any offense to what my dad was saying. He was just telling me, you know what, if you stay down, you're not going to have a ball go between your legs.
I've broken out the tears also in some of the fantasy camp games on occasion.
That's because you pulled the hamstring.
That's right. That's why. I couldn't remember why. 1-2 on Freddie Galvis. And Friedrich induces a ground ball to third. Nolan.
That's off his foot.
He's hopping around like it was off his foot. Did Jerry Lane signal that?
Nobody signaled anything other than Hunter Windelstad at first said he was out.
Here comes Ryan Sandberg again, the Hall of Fame manager. Hall of Fame player who manages now.
It doesn't look like it goes off his foot.
He's acting.
Nobody.
Back in the day, you used to check shoe polish, right?
Yes. But now all the shoes, if you don't like your shoes, you just get a new pair out of the box. You can't overturn this because nobody signaled a foul ball. Yeah, you can't overturn it because he's limping around.
It may have hit. Yeah.
Now Walt's saying, "Wait, Jerry, what?"
Oh, now they are letting him stick around.
Oh boy.
Well, here's another 1-2.
I've seen a couple things tonight that I haven't seen before. I think that look says it all. Are you serious?
Never saw an indication
There was no.
that it was a foul ball. And when you know it, he has a base hit. Running pretty well now.
Yeah, I don't see him limping until he hit first. Jeff Francoeur pinch hitting for Grady Sizemore.
Well, they're in a left-right platoon anyhow, so Francoeur with the lefty out there will hit for Sizemore. He's been good in this role. 7th team for Francoeur in his big league career. Big star at Parkview High School in suburban Atlanta. Football, baseball star. I believe he's going to go play football at Clemson. Signed with the Braves as a high pick. See if the Rockies can turn one over here. They can. 4-6-3 for the 3rd time this evening. So we'll go to the bottom of the 7th inning. The Rockies trailing 4-1 to Philadelphia. Game changer brought to you by T-Mobile. 6th inning with 2 outs. This double to the corner by Herrera drives in 2. Philadelphia would add another run on a base hit by Carlos Ruiz. So Odubel Herrera, the hero right now for Philadelphia. It was a 1-1 ball game. Francoeur stays in the ball game for Sizemore naturally in right field. Drew Stubbs swings and misses. Cole Hamels still out there.
Not that it matters because the Rockies turned a double play the 3rd tonight, so they're tied with Pittsburgh for the Major League lead with 44. But I had them go back in the truck and during the commercial break replay that whole sequence of events. Not one umpire called it a foul ball, and Hunter Winterslade at first called him out. So I don't know how he can overturn it if nobody said it was a foul ball. Let's get together.
7 strikeouts. No, I don't understand it. And then there was never really any sort of either explanation or action by Jerry Lane indicating to everybody else, yes, indeed, it was a foul ball.
At least get all together in a group. Say, hey, did you see anything? Did you? Did you? No, I didn't behind the plate. We called them out at first.
LeMahieu at the plate, 1 out. In the on-deck circle, Rafael Noah. That's why I do think, and it'll help the umpires. And I don't like getting on the umpires because
I don't either.
I think, honestly, they do a phenomenal job. And they're backed up now by video replay, as virtually every sport is. But they get it right the vast majority of the time. You know, sometimes for both teams, if you have a floating strike zone, it can be frustrating. But I do think that one thing that will enhance video replay is an audio explanation, just like they mic up the ref, mic up the crew chief, and let him explain to the fans and ultimately the fans at home also why it was called in the fashion it was. It's not gonna. It doesn't have to take an inordinate amount of time.
An extra 15 seconds on the play in the first inning. The video replay showed that he never touched the bag. Okay, fine, done.
This is fought off to right, but Francoeur is there, and there are 2 outs, and Noah will come up. Hamels is cruised, giving up a run in the second inning. And really, this is his 5th start in Colorado. His first start was a rocky one, but after that, he's pitched pretty well at Coors Field and under a 3 ERA.
This is his 9th game against Colorado, so he's not intimidated by coming out here. In career, he's .500 against Colorado, 3-3, but still a 3.62 ERA overall.
Tell you what makes things difficult is one element of the Phillies. They're playing good baseball now. They've won 5 in a row. They're up 4-1, but overall a 16-23 record, swung on and missed. One element that's been really good for them throughout the year has been Giles in the 8th and their all-time saves leader Jonathan Papelbon in the 9th. And we're looking at 2 outs, nobody on in the 7th.
For Cole Hamels, that was just pitch 101.
I'm sure he'll flip it over to the bullpen after this inning.
Nobody's out there yet, but they'll have time with the change in between innings if nothing happens.
You know, Hamels, you think back on this game, Hamels had 2 men on, 2nd and 3rd against him in the 4th inning with 1 out. He struck out DJ LeMahieu after a fairly lengthy at bat, and then he got Jordan Lyles. So he put down that threat by the Rockies when it was 1-1, a chance for the Rockies to obviously take the lead. With 2 outs in the 6th inning and nobody on, there was a single, then the walk, and unfortunately Lyles then gives up a double. He couldn't get out of that inning, and that's why it's 4-1 Philadelphia. Now we go to the 8th inning. Rockies down 3. Ryan Howard will lead it off. This is from my young friend Drew Stahl, and there on the right is his little brother Troy with Dad. Good friends of ours. They were on TV on the Rockies game. So Drew took a picture of his little brother with Dad, and they were on earlier. There they are. I tell you what, that little guy is going to be a heck of a player. His brother's a heck of a player, and I'm glad Drew took a picture of Troy, because Troy has run around 3,000 baseball fields the last few years watching his brother play.
Has worn out countless baseball pants.
Yes.
And not played an actual game.
And not played an actual game. One of those kids. Yep.
Ken Roberts now out on the mound for the Rockies. Last pitch, the 14th, out in L.A. four days ago. A couple innings, just 2 hits, 1 walk, 1 strikeout.
2-0 on Howard. RBI single back in the first. Fly ball to center and a ground ball to second.
Registration has begun for the 2015 Colorado Rockies Youth Baseball Camp at Coors Field. It's presented by Sports Authority. The camp will take place on June 23rd and 24th this season. We've been talking about Little League. Well, it's your chance for the Youth Baseball Camp.
Jerry Lane says that's a strike on the outside corner. It's 2-2. Ryan Howard, when he was in the Florida State League, almost won a triple crown. Most people see him as this big, strong guy that hits a lot of home runs, drives in runs. Hit 58 home runs 1 year in the big leagues, but he hit for average too. 2-2. That's a base hit.
That's tough to do down in the Florida State League. That's a heavy air in the summertime. You're playing at these nice Major League ballpark spring training facilities, but that ball doesn't carry down there during those summer months. A fun league, though. A lot of good players going to Florida State.
It's kind of a legendary league. There's
yes, it is.
Legendary ballparks there. Michael Franco fouls this off. Is it
Jack
Robinson Field at Daytona?
At Daytona Beach.
You've played there, I'm sure.
I played there many times during that season in 1987. The West Palm Beach Expos.
This is bounce foul. That's not a bad place to be, West Palm.
No. Teams in Fort Lauderdale, down in Miami, Clearwater, Daytona, Orlando.
Did you work on your tan at all?
No. We go play a game that night.
Right answer.
Usually slept till about 11 or 12.
Truth be told. Nothing's changed. Franco fouls it off. Hope Wendy's listening. That is exactly what happens on the road. Come back from working out. There's Huey rolling out at 1:15. That's great. See that? I love baseball. And MLB tweets back, baseball loves you. And Roberts gets the strikeout. So Franco's gone. And that'll bring up Utley.
You've seen Ken snap off some hard sliders in his early Major League appearances. Out of the hand, you can see him get off to the side and then just rotate the wrist. Good shot on the Subaru Supermo.
It's not Giles up, it's Luis Garcia. Ball and a strike on Utley.
I think Big Ryan's going anywhere.
That may be one of those deals where I already said yes to a pitch I didn't want to throw, so I'm going to throw to
Toss it
first.
over to first.
For most people, Ryan Howard has a 1.5 lead. As big as he is, it's a 1-step lead. Outside 2-1.
Ryan too. He had to come back from that Achilles injury.
He made the last game of the year.
Yeah, 2011 when they lost in the LDS. He made the last out and crumpled coming out of the box.
Hundley may have a play. Did he hold on?
Yes, he did.
Great play by Nick Hundley. And now the out call from Jerry Lane. He may have had to catch that twice by the railing.
Right in your living room, here we come. Show us, Nick. Subaru Supermo's battling everything, going over by the fence. Little rattle around in the glove and snag it. I like the way he put his other hand up there to catch it with 2 hands.
Yeah, you know, you're not going to get a lot of help by that railing while you're attempting to catch it, but after you will. Good sportsmanship comes out. I think it was Aaron Harang right there to catch him. And Aaron's big enough to catch him, cradle him, and walk him back, carry him back the home plate.
And lift him back over the railing to put him back on the field. Okay, so now it's out. Just put their hands up so he doesn't fall in.
Good play by Nick. Double Herrera, 0-2 count now. Four runs, 9 hits for the Phils, a run on 6 hits for the Rockies, 1 error.
Just show him that pitch again.
Yeah, he didn't look like he had much of a chance against it.
Just throw the curveball down in the dirt again. Tried to overthrow that one.
Crowd of 24,061 braved the cool temperatures tonight. We're on the air Tuesday and Wednesday in this series. Thursday's a day game we will not televise. And then we'll pick up again Friday evening when the Giants come to town. We'll have both of those ball games Saturday, day and night. And Sunday afternoon, obviously. That's in the air to Blackman and left. Charlie's got it. So we'll go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Rockies have to crank up the offense. They're down 4-1. Charlie will lead it off.
Purple Monday home game. We celebrate Little League as we go here to the bottom of the 8th. One more soundbite from one of the players. It's Adam Ottavino.
There's so many great Little League memories. That summer experience of being a kid playing baseball, going to water parks, you know, with your friends. You just can't beat that.
Drew and Jeff, did you guys have your team names be big league team names, or were you sponsored by like local merchants?
For me, neither. In Little League, we were the road runners. This ball may drop. Nope. Good catch by Ben Revere. That's where it helps having 3 center fielders. Actually, 3 former center fielders started tonight. Grady Sizemore at right. He's been replaced by Jeff Rancourt. But Ben Revere is a center fielder by trade.
And the jump he got shows, because that ball was dying quickly in the outfield, but on the Subaru Supermo, Ben keeping his eyes on the ball the whole time.
Well, this isn't a huge surprise. They left Hamels in there to go after Blackman, the left-hander. He gets him, and now they'll turn it over to the bullpen. So Cole Hamels departs. He goes 7 1/3. He allows a run on 6 hits. He struck out 7 and walked 1. Be coming up. A reminder that the day after every Rockies victory, get 50% off your online order at Papa John's. The promo code is RocksWin at papajohns.com. So Cole Hamels gives way to Luis Garcia, 28-year-old out of Santo Domingo in the Dominican Republic, originally signed by the Los Angeles Dodgers. He's making his 20th appearance.
Well, last year he was the Phillies minor league pitcher of the year. The reason he was brought in was that 188 average against the righties, and the 2 right-handers coming up next. That's what Ryan Sandberg's banking on. Fastball will be 94 to 97 miles an hour. Will touch 99. And a hard power slider to complement it. Only 2 pitches from Garcia.
Ball and a strike on Nolan. A walk and 2 strikeouts tonight for the Rockies star third baseman. It's the first time this year he's been in the 2-hole.
All fans attending the Saturday, May 23rd game, the 2:10 start, will strike out stroke fast magnet. Join the Rockies in their effort to raise awareness of stroke warning signs and the importance of acting fast.
105 pitches tonight for Cole Hamels. And base hit up the middle. That ball was ripped by Arenado.
You want to throw it in at 97 miles an hour, I'll hit it back right at you at 97 at least.
Tulowitzki coming up. DJ's got a role model, huh? Looks a lot like Troy.
It does.
Troy had a base hit back in the third. 1 for 3. This will be the last hitter for Garcia. You'd think with Gonzalez on deck, they have Diekman. Their lefties in the bullpen getting ready. Arm thrower, Jake Diekman. DeFreitas on the right side.
Really just carries 2 left-handers in their pen. The LA series against the Dodgers, we saw 3 and 4 sometimes left-handers. Rockies are carrying 4 left-handers in their bullpen.
Well, there were a bunch of lefties in that series. Philadelphia has won 5 straight along with the White Sox and the Houston Astros. The White Sox have made it 6 straight. They beat Cleveland tonight 2-1. And in the 9th inning, Oakland leads Houston 2-1. So could be the end of Houston's 5-game winning streak. 1-2.
Just 7 games scheduled tonight in the major leagues. 3 in the National League, 4 in the American League.
Monday, Thursday, those are the days you get
Yes, they are.
the abbreviated schedules.
It's a throwback jersey. Pete Rose.
He'll be involved in the All-Star Game festivities in Cincinnati. Okayed by Rob Manfred. 1-2, 2-2. Doing some studio work now for Fox. 8th inning's been a tough inning for the Rockies this year. They've been outscored 28-11. Hopefully they can add on to that 11 right here. 1 out, 1 on. Rockies down by 3. Cargo on deck. The thing we have not seen much of this year, Huey, is the innings. It's so familiar in the past where the Rockies throw out 5, 6 hits. That's a fair ball, and everybody's going to be safe. As Franco took his eye off it for one moment. It was a situation where he's getting cranked up to make the long throw.
Rookie mistake. So he goes over to the line and commits his first error of the season. Thinks he's going to have to get rid of it in a hurry, and it just ejected out of the glove like a Super Ball.
So the tying run at the plate in number 5, Carlos Gonzalez. And Ryan Sandberg hasn't come out of that dugout yet. You keep waiting for him to go and get Diekman, especially with traffic.
That's what I was waiting for.
Why are you having him warm up if you're not going to bring him in here? I'm glad they're not.
Sure.
He's sitting dead red right here.
We heard foul ball that time. First time for Carlos to face Garcia.
Outfield deep, straight up. Arenado at second, Tulowitzki at first. Cole Hamels can just pace now. Here's the 0-1. He went slider, and it's 0-2.
Not only a slider, but the good location for the slider. Comes out of the hand looking as it it's going to be a fastball at the knees. And dives the last 3 or 4 feet.
That's going to be a base hit. Arenado around third. He's going to challenge Francoeur, and the throw didn't get him. Arenado slid under the tag, and it's 4-2.
Another broken bat for Carlos. Doesn't matter. You'll take him all day long. That was off the label. You can hear the sound. Boy, Francoeur has as strong an arm as there is in the game. Luckily, it was a high throw. Looks like he misses him, and then the reach with the left hand from Nolan.
You can see Willeen coaching him up, and a very good slide, creative slide by Nolan Arenado. Jerry Lane calls him safe and then helps him up.
They'll go to the replay.
We've had more challenges in this game than we've had all year.
Yeah, he misses him.
He didn't get him.
Because the Phillies won their challenge back in the first inning, they were able to keep theirs. But the 7th inning on, it can be the crew chief who decides to go over and make sure.
Call that the drive-by slide, and that's the one that was necessary.
And I like what Willeen's doing in the background, telling him to get down. He's coaching him behind home plate where he can see him. And you see the slide from Nolan, just out and around and reach back with that left hand. Sure what's taking so long.
No tag, no tag. I don't, you know, and I don't think he got the helmet either. And by the time that happened,
yeah,
there we go. This is Bobby McClure, who used to work in the Rockies organization. He's a pitching coach for the Phillies. You have Rosario coming up, and Willeen swinging it well. 2 more hits tonight.
That's his average up to 304. Numbers for Willeen, 1-for-1 career against Garcia.
Big swing and a miss.
Axford and Scott Oberg now up in the bullpen for Colorado.
And that's a called strike. Lee's got to regroup. It's in that slider count. It's hard to sit on anything but a fastball, and a guy throws 97.
Yeah, and the first pitch that he threw you was a slider.
Tulo at second, Cargo at first. Rockies down by 2. His fastball at 96. Maybe that was a slider. Correct.
That one was a slider.
Yeah, that was a slider. He can get on top of that one. Fortunately, 1 and 2 as Ryan Sandberg looks on. This ball hammered deep right field. It's got too much tail on it. It's going to go foul. Kyle Kendrick in the middle.
From that angle, off the bat, it looked like it had a chance.
Swung on and missed. 2 outs. And that'll bring up Nick Hundley.
They threw him 2 fastballs and 3 sliders in that at bat.
Nick's 0 for 3. He's hit the ball hard twice. Robbed of a hit by Galvis in the second inning up the middle, and he lined out to deep right also. Held up. I said this earlier, and then we kind of got distracted for a moment with something going on the field, but the Rockies have not had many innings at all this year where they put 5, 6 hits together, or an inning where it's 4 or 5 hits but multiple extra base hits.
Yeah, even that game they put up 4 or 5 against Kershaw was a lot of singles. 5 runs in that game, but it was single, first and thirds, but it wasn't a single here, single, double, single, triple, one of those type of innings.
Yeah, we haven't had many of those. Not seen many yet. 1-1 on Nick Hundley. Center fielder Herrera, very deep. Two and 1.
Some good sliders. The last 2 or 3 he's thrown. Big try to hold up. Those are the ones that the sliders gets it right out onto the fingertips, and then the wrist just snaps it.
Two and 2 on Hundley. And slider in the dirt. 3 and 2. Daniel Descalso's at the bat rack. Drew Stubbs is on deck. Dickerson would be a logical choice if Corey could go. And he's got the plantar fasciitis. And he may not be available. Descalso has been swinging the bat very well. 3-2 on Hundley. This ball lifted to left field. And coming in and making the catch is Ben Revere. That'll end the inning. The Rockies get a run on the base hit by Cargo. It's 4-2. The third, one-run baseball, and the big hitting 2-out, 2-run double by Odubel Herrera in the 6th inning. That's really the difference in this ball game. So it's 4-2. Top of the 9th inning. Let's go to center field. Check in with Jenny Cavnar.
Thanks, Drew. Coming up on the Toyota postgame show, the Rocks tried to rally there in the 8th. Hopefully there's more offense to come in the 9th. We'll also wrap up the pitching performances today and get you inside the clubhouse. We'll see you right after baseball. For now, we get it back out to you guys.
All right, Jenny, thank you. And while we were away, Nick Hundley was thrown out of the game. He was really incensed at Hunter Wendelstedt for calling this check swing a strike. He thought he held up. And then a couple pitches later, see, he's upset there. That's not where he gets tossed out, because 2 pitches later, he hits the fly ball to left, and he's upset. And he got after Hunter Wendelstedt, and he said, really, you threw me out?
And then instead of Hunter walking away, he gets right back in his face. Now he's pointing his finger at Walt. Sorry, it just gets me. I don't care who it is, just walk away. I mean, how many times an NFL official just on the sidelines, the coaches are just yelling at him? What do? They walk away.
Yeah, it's handled differently. I agree with you. You don't see guys ejected in the NFL, and you see coaches, particularly head coaches, really getting after officials, and most of the time it's the linesmen who are closest to them. And they do move away, avoid confrontation. They have a hard job, and the guys who are competing obviously are very emotional, have a hard job. Don't escalate. Walk away. Walk down the right field line.
You've got 2 minutes and 30 seconds in between innings. You can walk down there for a minute 15 and then walk back for a minute and you'll be in position.
Carlos Ruiz against Scott Oberg, 4-2. Pitch in there for a strike. It's 2-1. Cesar Hernandez in the on-deck circle, and that's going to be caught by Cargo. How do you like that? He took this off the very top of the grass.
Playing the Superman theme song here in the stadium, and this is just laying out, flying through the air, parallel to the ground on the Subaru Supermo.
Cesar Hernandez pinch hitting. Great catch by Cargo. Jonathan Papelbon. And in the ninth inning, the Rockies have Stubbs, LeMahieu, and a pinch hitter scheduled. Line drive, Nolan Arenado, and they throw it around the infield, 2 outs.
This is easy for Nolan. Line drive, reach up, got it, throw it around the horn, 2 outs.
Our CenturyLink link to what's next, the matchup tomorrow. Aaron Harang, the longtime right-hander, is off to a very nice start, 4-3, but a 2.03 ERA. The league hitting just .216 against him. It'll be the second start for Chad Bettis. He had his first start of 2015 in Anaheim. Ben Revere's been on 3 times tonight, 2 hits and a walk. It's lifted down the left field line. Charlie not going to be able to get there. The run allowed by Garcia. They count. Did they make, Dougie? They make that an earned run because there was an error, but they could have assumed to throw to first. I believe right now it's an earned run. Yep. Up the middle, Tulo dives, can't get it, and that's the 3rd hit of the night for Revere. Freddie Galvis is 1 for 4 tonight. Phillies came in winners of 5 straight, but out on the road just 4-13.
It's the fewest amount of wins in the major leagues. There's a couple other clubs that had 5 wins.
But the Rockies came in with the fewest amount of wins at home in baseball. They played the fewest home games, but 4-9 record. Oakland's 5-14 at home.
Cleveland's 6-12 at home.
Two and 1 on Galvis.
With Milwaukee's win tonight, they moved up to 6 wins out of the row. They're 6-10.
Fouled off, 2-2. In games started for Philadelphia by either Cole Hamels or Aaron Harang, 16 starts coming into tonight. They make 17, including this evening. They had a .276 ERA combined. The league hitting just .216 against them. The rest of their rotation is .633 earned run average. That's pulled foul.
Sean O'Sullivan, one of their starters, he earned his first victory in 4 years yesterday. Back when he was with Kansas City in 2011.
Hard to stick around winning a game every 4 years.
1,466 days to be exact in between starts, or in between wins.
That's tomorrow's starting pitcher, Aaron Harang. This is 2 hops at Rosario. So we'll go to the bottom of the 9th inning. The Rockies will have to get after Jonathan Papelbon. They trail 4-2 at Coors Field. Great catch by Carlos. Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. By Mike Shaw Subaru, always our lowest price in sales and service guaranteed. And by the Colorado Lottery, expect the unexpected. Celebrating Little Leaguers tonight. The Rockies need a big league rally, down by 2 in the 9th. And that was a giveaway tonight, the fedora. And those flipped upside down become rally fedoras. Rockies will have Drew Stubbs leading off against Papelbon, DJ LeMahieu, and then the Rockies will go to their bench.
Let's see, 9 for 9 and save opportunities for Papelbon. All-time Phillies save leader at 115. The highest career save percentage of any closer in Phillies history with a minimum of 100 opportunities. Jonathan Papelbon. A number of years in Philadelphia. Before that, he was in Boston saving games there. That was a save, though, that he set the record.
One of the few who has the all-time saves record for a couple of teams. He's Boston's all-time saves leader. Now, you mentioned Philadelphia's Rob Nen, the all-time save leader with Miami, and also the Giants. In fact, those are the only two guys that can make that statement. 2 strikes on Stubbs.
Rob Nen, 206 in San Francisco, 108 with Florida.
One, 2. And Stubbs goes down. LeMahieu will be next.
And Descalso.
It tells me that Dickerson was not available because, with all due respect to Stubbs, right on right, the way he struggled, you'd assume that Walt would have gone to Descalso first and then Dickerson third if Dickerson was available.
The only thing with that, and I completely agree, but then you would have nobody left on your bench. With McHenry going in because of the ejection.
Yeah, understood.
But you got to try to win the game first.
But there's no more baseball if they don't score 2 runs.
I know that. But managers don't like to empty their bench in the 9th inning. They like to be able to say, I have one guy. When you're only carrying 4, that presents a problem.
Depending on how Dickerson is tomorrow, may force the issue for the Rockies because you can't. It's hard enough with a 4-man bench, much less a 3-man bench. Who wants tacos? Fans follow @RootSports_RM on Twitter to receive alerts for the Rockies taco special when the Rockies score 7 or more. 0-2 on LeMahieu. 1-2. This ball's well hit to right field. Francoeur going back. Can't make the catch. He goes down. This will easily be a triple. The center fielder Herrera all the way over in right field to retrieve the baseball. Had he not been hustling, that's going to be an inside the park home run.
Instead, I'll go down for his 2nd triple this season for DJ.
Well, you know what? I misspoke. As you watch this, it's not going to be Descalso. It's going to be Dickerson. So he is available.
That's a good sign. And this is a good sign, too, for DJ. Off the glove, and then the wire mesh out in right center field underneath the auxiliary scoreboard. Francoeur falls down. Herrera hustling over to get the ball back in.
So maybe half of what you said, and that is Dickerson can hit, but he can't play defense.
So then if he does get on, then you would pinch run a pitcher, probably Chad Bettis.
Maybe Kendrick. Bettis pitching tomorrow. But it's tough right now for Walt because of the limited bench. But first things first, here's Dickerson with a man on, and it's fouled off.
Corey pinch hit yesterday in the 8th inning. That was against Chris Hatcher. Two hard throwers. Hatcher yesterday and Papelbon tonight.
Corey took a swing to tie it up, and now take that walk and say get a base hit.
Go to that 2-strike approach with you just lift your heel off the ground. Don't take the high leg kick. Just try to make contact. Pepper the ball somewhere. Cut down the swing.
Blackman on deck. Did that exact approach you discussed.
Those are the little approaches, the change in approach you have to make within an at-bat. He has such good hands and enough power with the rest of his swing that if he does that, the ball will still carry.
Two strikes on Corey.
Plus you can track the ball longer.
LeMahieu tripled with one out. He's at third. Rockies down 4-2, one out in the bottom of the 9th. Foul tip, and it's held by Ruiz. The Rockies down to their final out. It'll be Charlie Blackmon.
Ball was down. Corey's still looking at the bat thinking, man, how did I miss that? Swung underneath it, just nicked the baseball. Ruiz able to hang on.
The Rockies again, Huey, in double figures in strikeouts. That was their 10th. Hamill struck out 7. Garcia struck out 1, and now Papelbon has struck out 2 here in the 9th. Blackmon 0 for 4.
Made 6 straight games with 10 or more strikeouts.
This is a base hit center field. This may be 2 for Blackmon. Let's see. Nope. Frank Core got to it quickly. And the reason I said that is the outfield was playing no doubles. They were playing really deep. And Charlie, the way he runs, thought about it, but wisely stopped. It's a 1-run game now with Arenado coming up.
Yeah, and they're deep. They're just about 2 or 3 strides off the warning track, and Charlie's hustling hard. Francoeur's strong arm, and he cuts it off to get it back in. But that's how you run hard out of the box. You make the outfielder stop you. You don't stop on your own. Once he picks up the ball, that's when you shut it down.
Nolan 1 for 3 and a walk. Singled and scored last inning. Off the plate, ball 1. Gotta slow the adrenaline.
Where those breathing techniques come in. Take the deep breath. It'll help relax the muscles and slow that heartbeat down.
Four runs, 10 hits, and an error for Philadelphia. 3 runs, 10 hits, an error on the Rockies. 2 outs in the 9th, tying run at first, winning run at the plate in Nolan Arenado. That ball is ripped but foul. Papelbon's still intimidating by his physical presence, but the fastball's a couple feet shorter than what it used to be.
Yeah, it used to be 95, 96 miles an hour with some extra giddy up. It was late movement. So he's a hard thrower. He's still 91, 92, but not the flamethrower that he once was.
1-1 on Nolan.
Charlie was leaning.
Mindset there, Huey, at first base in this situation.
Just make sure you don't get picked off.
One.
There's enough room in the outfield. If he puts one into the gap, you're going to score from first. Take the bat out of his hand. But now for Charlie, 1-2 count. If he bounces a slider, then you look to take that secondary lead to get into scoring position.
1-2. He takes off, swung on and missed. And the Phillies will survive and win it in the 9th, 4-3. Rockies got a run, but they come up a run short. And the Phillies have now won 6 consecutive games. The Rockies fall to 4-10 at home as they lose the opening game of this 4-game set with Philadelphia in this opening game of an 8-game homestand. The winning pitcher, Cole Hamels, he's now 4-3. Jordan Lyles suffers the loss. He is 2-4. And for Jonathan Papelbon, it is save number 10. Our Jimmy John's delivery of the game. The work of Cole Hamels tonight. The Philadelphia ace and a much sought-after pitcher. Goes 7 1/3, allows a run on 6 hits. He walked just 1 and he struck out 7, and he seemed to get stronger as the evening wore on. So Cole Hamels, our Jimmy John's delivery of the game. Again, the final score, Philadelphia wins it tonight 4-3 over the Rockies. Philadelphia with their 6th straight win, now 17-23. The Rockies fall to 13-22. We take you to center field. And our set out there, led by Jenny Kavnar on the Toyota postgame show. Jenny?
All right, Drew, thanks so much. The Rockies now have a 6-game losing streak here at Coors Field, something that needs to be snapped. This homestand coming up, we'll talk about the offense and where they faltered tonight and recap the game. Stay tuned.